There are birds declining. We don't understand all of the declines, but there's fewer and fewer birds. I'm not so worried about massive extinctions of North American birds. I think what we'll see is sort of extinctions from our life, in the sense that it'll be much harder to see a lot of these birds. We'll have to go farther and farther from our homes to get to places where we get a lot of these birds. What we have is an entire continent of birds, North American birds, which some extraordinary portion of them are migratory, kind of bailing out for the winter and going to the tropics, which makes a lot of sense. Being a migratory bird is a hard life. They're on the edge. There's very little land that is set aside just for birds. Oftentimes, all that's left is what's managed by people, and coffee is one of those things that's kind of a compromise. It isn't the ideal habitat for the greatest diversity of birds, but it supports an awful lot of the original forest birds when the forest was cleared. And if there isn't something like a coffee plantation, you ask what happens to these birds. I hate to think there have been a few studies radio tracking them, and they kind of wander around, and I suppose most of them die because once you remove their habitat, they really don't have any place to go.
Anybody in this country who is even an occasional coffee drinker and is at all interested in birds has a direct connection to a coffee farmer who maintains a nicely shaded coffee farm. And if they can be drinking coffee that they can be assured comes from a shaded coffee farm that provides habitat for these kinds of birds that they see out their window, then that, for many people, is a very nice connection. And so we're connected by this phenomenon of migration, by these specific species that go back and forth, two cultures, two countries, one bird. So there is this natural, organic connection we could talk about that exists between farmers and coffee drinkers and birds.